Today's guest is sure to inspire. She's Swiss, living in Canada, working full-time as a teacher, and on top of that, she shoots for 30 paying clients a year, mostly only in the summer break. She spends winter working on her marketing plan and has absolutely no intention of ever going full-time with her pet photography business. Hanako was truly an open book in this interview, particularly in the members only extended half, where we got into financials, pricing structures, and lead sources. This episode, you really don't want to miss it. So if you're not yet a member, definitely this is the one to join. Head on over to thepetphotographersclub.com/join so that you get to hear the entire interview. Of course, members, make sure you're listening in your RSS player or through the member zone so that you catch the episode in its entirety.
Welcome to the Pet Photographers Club. Tune in as experts share their insights to help grow your business with higher sales, creative marketing, and kick-ass business strategies. Now on to the show.
Hello and welcome back to the Pet Photographers Club. I'm Kirsty McConnell, and today I'm chatting to Hanako Soncini. Gee, my language is already mixing up here. It's an Italian name and still. Sorry, we've got Hanako Soncini here from Kiwis Photography. Welcome to the club, Hanako.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sorry about my little bumble through the intro there, or the mini intro anyway.
No worries.
I'm quite excited to talk to you today, and I know that a lot of the listeners will be as well. I did pop a little note into the members Facebook group letting the members know that I would be chatting with you, which we always do for every interview. And it was really cool to hear have some questions come through from the members as well. They were really intrigued about what it is you're doing and how you manage to balance your business with a full-time job. So I know the listeners are going to love this interview as much as I'm excited for it as well. So let's backpedal a little bit, and can you just give a bit of an introduction into where you're based, what it is that you do with your business, and how you fit it in amongst your full-time job?
Sure. So I'm based in Ottawa. It's in Canada. It's the capital of Canada. And I moved here from Switzerland about 10 years ago. And I didn't start with teaching or photography, actually. I did a lot of small jobs and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I ended up teaching full time. And I've always loved taking photos, and especially of my pets, because I grew up having so many pets. You know, if I look back at my photo albums, they're all photos of my pets. So it naturally, I guess I naturally evolved into, photography and cameras and all that. So I started doing it as a hobby, and a few years ago, not long ago, actually, I think 2 to 3 years ago, I started doing this professionally while balancing teaching as well and photography. So that's where I am now.
Okay, so give us all a bit of an overview of what your typical year looks like. I mean, I did ask you just before we press recording, and I was interested to hear. So, what's the breakdown of kind of the 12 months? How does that work for you in terms of juggling a full-time teaching job and your photography?
Right. So I teach around 10 months of the year. And, during the summer, I have 2 months of, vacation or prep time. But I have those 2 months off. And in the winter as well, I have about 2 weeks off. But I teach full time during 10 months. And I take photos usually on the weekends during the year. And also during my summer vacation. That's my biggest, it's the period during the year where I have the most time for my clients. So I use that as much as I can. And otherwise it's during the weekend. So I usually have only one day off during the week, during the year. And on Saturday or on Sunday, depending on the client, I'm booked. So that's basically how I manage my schedule. In the winter, I try not to take any clients, and that's more of a preference thing because I can't manage the cold at all. And I haven't gotten used to the Canadian winter yet, even though I have been here for over 10 years. So that's more of a preference thing. But other than that, that's usually how I balance my schedule.
Okay. So let's get into that nitty gritty a little bit more. So you said that during winter you typically don't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Then through the rest of the year, other than the 2 months in summer, you're teaching 6 days a week, and you potentially also have a photography client on the 7th day of the week. Did I get that right?
So I teach 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and I take a client on Saturday or Sunday, depending on their schedule. So I have one day off.
Okay. Oh, well, very lenient of you, giving yourself an entire day off. And do you actually have it as a day off, or do you use it for like marketing or something for the business, or
Well,
you do take it off?
I usually use that day to edit. So I take photos. If I take photos on Saturday, I'll use my Sunday to edit and do some admin stuff and prep for the next school day and things like that.
Can I ask you, Hanako, if there is anybody else in your home, or if you live on your own?
So right now I live on my own, but I'm actually in the process of moving in with my boyfriend. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I haven't taken any clients this winter because I'm packing boxes right now.
I thought you were going to say, oh, because I actually want to spend time with my boyfriend. No. That's logistics. Okay. So would you actually consider yourself like a bit of a workaholic, or you just really love your photography and you don't want to give up teaching, or like what's the story there?
I think it's both. I think I'm definitely a bit of a workaholic. I've always been. I always have to, be doing something. I can't just sit there and do nothing. That's just not me. But I ended up with these two passions. I love teaching and I love photography as well. So I can't really, people always ask me, do you want to go full time or are you ever going to give up teaching or photography? And I always say, no, I can't give up, one or the other because I love both so much. So yeah, I guess it makes me a bit of a workaholic.
That's okay. I'm not shaming you on that. I definitely used to be a workaholic. I've changed as my life has. But I can definitely relate. So no judgment. Okay, so you're shooting potentially one client a week for like 9 months of the, or no, 6 or 7 months of the year, I guess, and then the 2 months of summer. How many clients are you shooting in that period?
Oh my God, a lot. Usually I try to take, oh my God, maybe one or two clients a week. So I was actually looking at my numbers and, for the whole year of 2022, so this year, I had about 30 paying clients for the whole year. And
Okay.
most of it was during the summer because that was my, the period of the year where I had the
Mhm.
most time. So yeah, most of it was during the summer for sure. But it's about 30 clients for the year,
Okay.
and that's paying clients. So on the side, I'm doing, maybe some volunteer work for fundraisers and like maybe one giveaway here and there. So those are not paying clients, but it my goal is to like have, to turn those into paying clients because of products and all that. But I do that as well.
Okay. So about 30 clients a year, which actually for, some photographers, that might be actually almost a full-time job in itself, depending on, what service level they offer,
Hmm.
the average sale and this kind of thing. So, I mean, it's not just one client a month, you're fitting in, three times that almost, and this full-time job. So before you mentioned that you get asked a lot, and that was one of the questions in the group, in the Facebook group of the members,
Okay.
if you actually want to go full-time in your photography, and you said no because you don't want to give up your teaching, are
Hmm.
you interested in balancing it out a little bit more? Like, would you be ever looking to reduce your teaching hours to part-time so that you could do more photography, or are you really happy with the balance right now?
I've thought about it. Right now, I'm happy with how everything is. So, teaching full time and then doing photography, I guess, part time, which is turning into full time almost, but part time. And, I want to keep it that way for now. Obviously, that might change in the future. And, I don't have any kids but if that were the case, then I did think about maybe reducing the teaching part of my life. So, teaching part time, maybe, and doing photography full time. I've thought about, just taking a year off of teaching and see how I could work as a full time photographer as well. So, I'm not eliminating those options, but right now I'm happy the way things are. So, I want to keep them that way.
Okay, that makes sense. And is that because of like lifestyle and workload, or is it mostly because of money? Like, is it, financially better for you to be teaching full time, or like where does that kind of mix come in?
Um, I'm I'm not a very adventurous person, so I don't really like taking risks, especially with my life and finances and all that. I do like to have that safety net. So, with the teaching, I do get all the benefits and, a regular salary that comes in biweekly. And, there's all that. So, because I've only started pet photography like seriously, I think about 2 years ago. So I don't want to really give up all of the teaching part, and I still want to have that safety net, just in case anything happens or the business doesn't go well. But yeah, I did think about all the other options as well, for sure.
Okay. You must be quite a motivated person, Hanako, because I know that some people, like myself, for example, I actually
Hmm.
found that I had to remove the safety net of another income to push myself to grow my business to the next level. But it looks to me, on the surface at least, and from what you've just said so far, that actually your business is doing quite well. I mean, especially for a part time business, 30 clients a year. We haven't got into your averages yet, but we will in the members only second half if you're up for that. But I imagine, like myself, if I had this, kind of a or definitely steady income with teaching, and kind of the paycheck coming in all the time, and knowing when my holidays were and everything, I think I would find it hard to be motivated to grow my business unless I was super, aiming to, save, or something, buy a house or something, and I needed to remove the ceiling of my income earning. Um,
Hmm.
so, do you consider yourself quite a motivated person?
I think so. It's funny because I always, laugh about it with my friends and family, and I always say that, you said motivated, so, which is very positive, but I always say I'm very hard headed, so it worked in my favor, because I'm also very competitive, and there's running a business is not easy, and there's more and more pet photographers as well. It's becoming more common, I guess. And seeing all these other pet photographers who are also friends, work hard and get clients and produce amazing photos, and it's great for them, but I do get competitive as well. So there's a side of me that's like I have to do better because I don't want to, just kind of be left behind. So I'm hard headed in that sense, and it does motivate me. So thank God for them as well. But yeah, I guess motivated is a word I can use.
No, I think it's great to know your own personality. I mean, I'm also quite competitive,
Mhm.
but that's one aspect that motivates you probably, and there's probably others. And to know your personality and what drives you, I think makes it much easier because, like I said before, I had to remove that safety net because I would just become a little bit complacent in the early years when I probably would have given up earlier because it's hard work,
Right.
whereas
It is.
you know your own personality, and you're the opposite. You find comfort in the safety net, but not so much that you don't push yourself to do better in your own business. So I think that's a great takeaway for the listener to just really consider, if you haven't already, like consider your own personality when it comes to like how can you push this business to work for you. I mean, that's exactly what you've done, Hanako, from what I understand. I mean, you're really building a business that suits you. You're not taking on winter clients. You're working, more clients, like a lot in a 2-month period, and then just a few others on each side of that. And that's exactly what works for you and suits your personality. I do want to dive into how it's working for you in terms of numbers and what it is you offer your clients and marketing and all of these kind of things, because you mentioned giveaways before and volunteering. So I want to get into all of that, but I'm going to save that for our members only, which is the second half of this interview. So let's wrap up part 1 now. But before we do that, how can the listener find you if they want to check out your work or they want to connect some way? They've got some questions. Where's the best place for them to go?
Yeah. So, in terms of social media, I think I'm very active on Instagram, which is my Instagram handle is Kiwis Photography Ottawa. And I usually automate everything. So everything that's posted on Instagram is automatically posted on Facebook. So my Facebook handle is the Kiwi Photography Crew. I couldn't find anything else. And my website is kiwisphotography.com.
Perfect. And I'll add links to all of those in the show notes. So if you missed anything, guys, don't worry. Just jump over to the show notes and you can grab the links there. You just have to head to thepetphotographersclub.com/the podcast and search Hanako, which is Hanako. But that's it for part 1 of this episode. If you're a member, of course, you can continue listening to part 2 in the member zone or via your private RSS feed in your favorite podcast player. Just a reminder that if you are a member, you do have that private link. If you can't find it, shoot me through an email and I'll hook you up, because that makes it way easier to listen to the extended episodes on the go. You can listen to it on whatever app you like, listening. So yeah, make sure you hit me up for that. Now, if you're not a member, of course, you can join today. It's just $10 a month, and membership includes loads of perks like listening to the end of this, here's a bonus content, and much more. So head on over to thepetphotographersclub.com to find out more.
Thanks for listening to the Pet Photographers Club. To subscribe to the podcast, check out other episodes, and keep up to date, head to thepetphotographersclub.com.